What's up and welcome back. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Another episode of Tuesday Tips and Tricks. I'm your host, Max at WeVideo. And as always, we've got another great episode lined up for you today. I hope everyone's staying warm. It's a cold one out here in California. So before we get started, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, as well as hit the bell in the top right corner so you don't miss an update on our next episode. And we got another great one lined up for you today. So we're going to do things a little differently. But before we get started, let's bring on our co-host, Tyler Wall.
What is up, Max? Happy Tuesday once again.
Happy Tuesday.
How's it going, viewers? We've got a great episode for you guys today. So we see some questions already in the chat there. Fire those off during the show, and we'll be sure to get to them towards the end. We've first got some things lined up for you. So let's go ahead and hop into our video of the week. I think we got first.
Yeah, so kind of contrary to past episodes, we're going to show the video of the week at the beginning this time. And that's going to kind of segue into who our special guest that we were able to interview last week. I'm going to show an excerpt of that, which I think you'll all enjoy. And then after that, we'll go over some of the features related to that post and then get to the questions.
Sounds great.
So without further ado, here is the featured video of the week.
Let's check it out.
All right. Can you see my screen, Tyler?
Yep, it's up there now.
Hi, I'm Louanne Midgley, owner of Tell Your Story Videos. I know as a business owner, you're incredibly busy, and you're likely wearing many hats as an entrepreneur. Believe me, I get it.
Some great stock footage. We've got subtitles below so we can see even if we're not listening to the audio, which is a great tip.
83% of marketers would increase their reliance on video if there were no obstacles like time, resources, and budget.
Good use of motion titles there.
Yep.
Those are likely your obstacles too. Well, let's dive in and see how Tell Your Story Video stacks up. Time is needed, of course, to create engaging videos.
Some animation.
To learn that after 1 day's worth of shooting, it can
great
take
voiceover too. You guys can use that record button to narrate your own voiceover.
And it's called the Try Video Starter Bundle. Next obstacle, lack of resources. It's true. I use a really good iPhone to shoot my photos.
Nice little transition there.
Has made huge strides in making our phones into incredible cameras that can shoot in 4K resolution, which is ultra high def. I've chosen WeVideo as my editing software, and in this software, I have access to over 1 million royalty-free 4K media clips. I also have access to another 1 million clips through my subscription with ArtGrid, a premier story-driven media house. Using high-end, sophisticated royalty-free media where appropriate is a game changer in the production of some videos. I have lots of lighting and wireless microphones. I have a gimbal for smooth cinematic shooting and various lenses for different effects. I also have a professional Rode mic for voiceovers, which I personally perform for certain videos. It's true. You could invest in this equipment and you could spend the time to learn how to direct, produce, and edit video. But it's not your passion like it is mine. And remember, you don't have the time. So outsourcing this work makes a lot of sense. Lastly, there's budget. Yes, this all costs money, but not near what you're thinking. Because I'm a sole operator and very efficient and focused on my clients and their needs, my video starter package of 3 unique videos gives my clients a substantial leap into the world of video marketing at a great price. There isn't one business I can think of that wouldn't benefit from a video. Videos are the king of content, and they rule because they're engaging, instructive, emotive, and most importantly, they help to sell. So get in touch. Your business is your passion. Let's show that passion using video.
Awesome. Bring some music.
Little brand at the end.
Great. Great stuff. So we're going to get a interview that we filmed earlier with Lorraine, who made that video.
Louanne.
Louanne, sorry, and get a little more insight on how she went about that and some tips she may have had. So,
Yep. So, kind of quick background here. She actually just started. So we're going to show about a 7-minute excerpt, and then we'll link to the full video interview in the comments. You can check that out there, which I highly encourage to do. The kind of little backstory: she actually just started her new company, Tell Your Story Videos, this month in January. Already has new clients and is working on the videos, I believe, as we speak. And what's really cool is kind of she's been always with the creative background and passion, but really just kind of took it to heart and followed that, and made it her business. And WeVideo's helped her through it. So we're excited to kind of follow her progress through the months. And this is kind of in regard to the video we just showed. This is explaining her process. So with that, let's check it out.
cool.
You outline kind of your process. What did you start with first? Do you have a script that you workshopped, and then you?
Yes, I wrote the script first, and then I did perform the voiceover for it, and I did that a couple of times.
Yeah, how many times did that take?
Just a couple.
Let's say, because it was very clean here and there. It was hard to see if there were any points where you kind of cut or had to do different takes.
No, that was I do all one take.
Awesome.
I actually do voiceover work as well. So I'm getting more and more used to running through a whole script. And the only time I cut it up is during the video. So that's where I try to make it clean in between breaths. So that's what I do for that. But my first thing I do is the script. And then from there, I can figure out what kind of images that I want. So I lay it down and I start picking. And that's why I love the stock media library. It is fantastic. So it allows me to be so creative with how I choose what I'm going to choose. And it doesn't have to be completely what the script is about. As you could see a couple of times, I mean, there's a guy playing the electric guitar. Like, what did that have to do with anything?
So yeah, I mean, as you're going through, do you basically try to get stock for every single bit as you go through, or are there certain parts that you know right off the bat where I'm like, okay, I'm talking about kind of writing and creation, like this is a good opportunity to have someone like typing in a computer?
Yes.
And you put those in first and then kind of fill the gaps, or do you try to do it all start to finish?
I do start to finish. And for these videos, I don't do story mode, the storyboard mode that you have in WeVideo. I go right into editing. But I think for clients, because of their opportunity to make revisions and feedback, I might look at the storyboard so that I can just give them a loose idea of where we're going.
Okay.
Because I don't want it to get too firmly planted, because when you start editing, as you know, it's so tight. Right. And to make revisions, then it can take that just unfurls the whole thing, and then you're redoing your video, basically, a lot of it. So yes, that's what I start with: script, and then I start picking some shots, and then I quickly go into music. Music is everything. It lays down the tone. It makes the video become alive and engages you. And that's huge for me, is that the video is engaging and that it pulls you in, and music does that. And
so you do all of the stock media before you do music, or you do music kind of right after you do the audio?
So I'll do write my script, do the voiceover for it, lay that down. I'm getting feeling for the tempo in just how I voiced it.
Mhm.
And then I will pick a few different images just to get the feeling of what I'm looking for, but I go right into music then. So yeah, I just go through my favorites, because every few days I actually go into the stock media library, music library, and I suggest this for everyone who's creating videos to do this. Just press your favorites, go through music, put a keyword in there of what you're looking for, all different types of music, and just start listening. Favorite. And so then you can go in and that's where I start. I started my favorites folder, because I already know I vetted those,
What kind of keywords do you like recommend others users look for when it comes to music?
That can be tricky, the keyword searching, but kind of like just put down like inspirational or happy or moody. There's, you can be excited. I look a lot for music that builds, because
Okay.
I knew that because I also knew that this would be a 1 to 3 minute video based on my script. So I'm looking also at the timing for audio. I need music that is going to be that long.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of we're getting towards the tail end here.
Yeah.
I feel like I have an idea of this already, but to be thorough, what are kind of some of your favorite features about WeVideo?
My favorite features obviously is the stock media library. Number one. I love how user-friendly this is. To get in and just to start creating a video right away is just so important, so that you don't get fearful of it, or you don't say, oh, I can't do this, and then walk away. This was so user-friendly and intuitive that it excited me. It made me really looking forward to the future for video creation. And so that's important for it to be user-friendly. I like your customer service. Whenever I have a problem, I know that I can email you, and within a few hours sometimes, I get a response saying you guys are working on it, and then within 12 to 24 hours, you're definitely getting back to me. So that's really important as well.
Awesome.
And yeah. And now that I'm finding all these different communities, like the tips and tricks live show that we're on today, and that's awesome. This is where what I'm really interested in is getting better and better at editing, and upping my game every single video. And so I really want to be able to know what WeVideo can do for my business. And so I'm looking forward to all the support.
And we're back.
That was great.
Awesome. So again, guys, I highly encourage everyone to check out that full interview. There were a lot of great bits at the beginning that we obviously couldn't include. And we are going to link to that right now. But there were a couple things that Louanne mentioned during the interview that we're going to point out kind of in the editor now. The first of which being storyboard mode. So she touches more on this during the full interview, but you kind of heard her mention it in that 7-minute excerpt. So obviously she has a full timeline of different stock media clips that we saw as our featured video of the week. And when she's showing kind of her template to clients to show them an idea of what she can create for them, she'll switch from our traditional timeline mode, which is what you see right now, to storyboard mode, which is a lesser kind of mode that, I mean, Tyler and I don't use it very frequently, but storyboard is kind of more basic, I guess is probably the best way to put it.
Yeah.
It obviously only shows the one main track, which makes it much more visually easier to follow along, especially if you're not familiar with any video editing platform, as is often the case, someone just starting out.
Yeah, it's a simplified version of the timeline, but for instances like showing a client some work that's just starting off and giving them an idea of what you're hoping the video will look like, it's actually a great way to do it. So If you go up to your upper left corner hamburger icon, and you can go all the way to the bottom, that's how we're going to switch into the storyboard mode. So let's go ahead and do that. It's going to give you this warning. So some things will be limited within storyboard mode. There's only one track, which you'll see in a sec. So let's go ahead and switch it. And we can see what this looks like in storyboard mode. So you have, it basically looks like a storyboard. If you had any background in film, you might have drawn one of these out with pen and paper. So we can
this is very similar to what you'll see if you're using our mobile app as well.
Correct. So this is going to give us a good visual cue of, the clips that are coming up, and maybe some titles that we could add in here. You can switch to the effects.
Yeah, so you've got kind of each clip just adds one another, and then kind of in the top preview window, you can see how much of that clip you're actually using when you click on it. There we go.
So you can do most of the things you would be able to do within your timeline, like trimming and rearranging clips. But it is a very simplified version. So if you're getting into real nitty-gritty editing, we do recommend you be in the timeline mode. But that is something worth bringing up. So a lot of people don't even realize storyboard mode is there. Let's go ahead and switch back to timeline.
Yeah, and timeline mode certainly makes it easier for adding the different layers, especially if you plan on adding text.
Correct.
So another big thing that Louanne had mentioned in kind of her process is obviously sifting through all of the different stock media options. And then, as she mentioned, she spends a couple minutes every other day or so favoriting stuff that she likes. So just a quick refresher on how to do that. Once you're in the stock media section, there's a heart in the upper left corner of each individual clip that allows you to favorite it.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and hop into stock media. And I'm going to go ahead and search cheerful. So you can see a bunch of video clips show up. But if we were looking for music, we can go to this and filter it into audio, images, or video. And then we can filter it even further down to just music. And then these tracks are going to have, hopefully, cheerful themes. So you can preview these. And if we like a track, you just hit this heart icon, and that's going to favorite it. And Louanne mentioned this. Now within our favorites, I can filter through the audio, video, and find ones that I have marked for later. So yeah, keywords are going to be big. You can search by genre. That's a good way to go about it. So hip hop, a bunch of different tracks this way. Switch to audio.
Yeah, and as she mentioned, just play around with it. If there's a certain type you're looking for, you can go with different words associated with it or synonyms.
Right.
So yeah, you could do cheerful or happy or upbeat, just kind of like a little flow there.
Cool. Yeah, so once again, to find where your favorites live, just click this heart up here, and that's going to show you the tracks that you favorite.
Yep. So we did have a question just come in from Corey. Do you have to make a favorites folder? The answer is no. So by hitting the heart icon and favoriting something, you can easily just access that by hitting the heart icon in the right corner there. So anything you favorite will be there.
Yeah, it's basically one folder, and the new favorites will show up at the bottom. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's one folder, but if you've, favorited a ton of audio or a ton of video, you can sort through that by selecting the little filter there the right.
Yeah. So she mentioned stock media being one of her favorite features. I think I agree. I always recommend getting a plan that's got the stock media library, or flexing it to just have that feature available on your plan is another option you can do.
Awesome. So do we want to get to some of these other questions, Tyler, or is there any other features we need to show?
I saw we did have some questions popping up. What were some other things that she brought up we can go over first? Maybe.
Yeah, we could show, I believe, the text animate. Oh, right. We were going to show branding.
Okay. Yeah, branding is a great one.
So yeah, she does a good job with this at the end. But another thing that you might be interested in doing with any of your videos is adding a watermark, or your just logo in the bottom right or bottom left, top, kind of any corner. We're going to show you quickly how to do that.
Great. Yeah, so depending on your plan, we do have a lot of branding options. And one of them is the watermark. So you can see if I click the plus icon here, it's going to give me the option to add my watermark logo. So let's add that track. And I've already set up my branding preferences. So you can see this icon appears. This is a image I selected. So it's like a blogging logo. I do have options here now. When I click edit, I can switch to this side that is on, or the corner, change the opacity, or bring up the size. So depending on how big I want my logo to be, I can scale this up a bit. And if we wanted to delve deeper, you can actually go in, let's save and exit, to our global preferences. And this is where we will find all the branding options. So you can see I can replace my logo. I would just select a image that I have on my desktop or within my WeVideo account. I can choose my colors. So if you have branding specific colors, you can put in the hex code here, your fonts, and some other options here. We won't get too deep into these.
Yeah, so this branding feature is available on the professional plan and the business plan. That's not to say if you want to add your logo, you can't. You'll just have to do it manually, which, if you want to, you'd basically just select add a new track, drag your logo on there, make sure that that clip is stretched out for the entirety of your video, and then you can set which corner as well as the opacity that you want that to be present in. The branding just makes that process kind of faster. So once you do it once, you can quickly apply it to any videos that you churn out after that.
Correct.
Awesome. So we did have a question come in at the very beginning of the show that we'll get to now. Question was from, I believe it's O'Neill Connection. And that was, can you copy and paste Bernie with WeVideo like we've seen in social media lately? So definitely something that's been trending right now has been obviously all of these Bernie memes. And we actually saw this question come in at the very beginning of the show. So we were able to quickly upload a picture of Bernie to show you exactly how to do it. But short answer, yes. The answer is yes, you can do it. And we're going to show you how right now.
All right, just give me a second. Let's find that project.
Yeah, so for this, we searched Bernie PNG just in Google Images, and we were able to upload that. We found one that had the background already cropped out.
Yeah, so you can find PNGs on the web. That's what we did in this case. So this is a popular meme that's going around. And this happened to be a transparent image that we found. So it made it easy. Let's just go ahead and play it. and you can see a variation on what's typically an image meme, but we put a little spin on it with some video.
Yeah, so cool. I mean, we could, I guess, technically just export this as a video, or we could do it as a GIF. GIF, however you call it. So actually, why don't we show how to do that, Tyler?
All right.
This is short enough.
Yeah, we have time. Okay, so one of the options on export is the GIF. So typically you're going to want it to be a small size. Sorry, go ahead, Max.
This is actually a good opportunity to bring up the second question from O'Neill Connection, which is, can you choose the thumbnail you want when finishing a video? I always have to go back to the editing page and save it again to get a different thumbnail option.
That's a great question.
Yeah, what he's referring to is kind of on the bottom left here, we have those 3 thumbnail options selected. Those are taken from our 3 most recent saves, whether it was an auto save or a manual save. So rather than going back and saving so that the new thumbnail will show up, there are other options. After you've exported the video, you can select the thumbnail and get to the exact frame that you want by using a slider icon. Maybe we could show that as well, Tyler.
Sure. Yeah, so if you don't like one of these in your immediate save thumbnails, you can finish it. So just real quick, let's look at the advanced settings.
Right, sorry.
You can switch the frames per second if you want in GIF, which is a nice option to have. So this will make the file size even smaller, but a bit more choppy, which is typically okay with GIFs. We don't expect it to be too long. Actually, see, we're getting this warning sign. The reason for that is because my timeline was very long. So it realizes that exceeding 45 seconds is going to make this GIF way too big to post in most places where you would put a GIF. So we're going to have to cancel this actually. And I'm going to delete the rest of my timeline and just use this Bernie section. So let's real quick do that, and then we can show the thumbnail.
Perfect.
So this zoom tool down here is very useful. If you guys aren't utilizing that, I recommend it. It's a great way to zoom in and zoom out of your timeline, especially when you have a lot of stuff on the timeline. All right, so now we're under that 45 seconds. That's a good indicator of time for GIFs. So let's go ahead and finish. Hit the GIF. We're still getting the 45 seconds, which I don't think it is over 45. So we should be fine. Let's go ahead and finish it.
Cool.
Oh, it's not going to let me. Shrink it. Oh. Got some extra stuff. Be sure you pay attention to what's on your timeline. Trash this one. All right. Technical difficulties. Sorry for the delay. Let's go ahead and export.
So then you get this queue screen.
Eventually that will show up in our exports, and then we will show you guys how we went about making a new thumbnail. Any other questions that came up? We can...
I'm looking through now. Just the favorites folder one.
All right, looks like this one finished up. So once your video has exported, you can see our GIF here. It's a pretty sweet GIF. Loops. To change the thumbnail, you're going to have complete control of the entire timeline. So just select that thumbnail button. Show you again, change thumbnail. And then we're going to be able to drag. This probably needs a little time since we just exported this.
Right. But yeah, as you're saying, you can just drag that slider and pick the exact frame.
Yeah. And we might not have luck with our live stream and internet speed here to actually show this. But once this is fully processed, you're going to be able to select exactly on the timeline where you want by using this this slider. And that's going to set a thumbnail for you.
Exactly. And that thumbnail will be used whenever you use the WeVideo share link.
Yeah, so excuse our buffering here. We are doing a live stream, so that does throttle our speeds a bit. But yeah, that is where you would find it. In your export, change thumbnail.
Awesome. Well, that looks like it's it for the questions. That's a wrap for today as well.
Great.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. As always, happy creating, and we'll see you all next week.